Hello fellow content creators out there on YouTube. So today's video is going to be about the GoPro Hero. Now what I have here is the GoPro Hero 10. I didn't upgrade to the GoPro Hero 11 because I wasn't too impressed with the extra features it had. Like the 420 frames per second, that was a huge milestone for me when I got the GoPro Hero 10. I did have the GoPro Hero 9 before this one, and then I sold it. But the GoPro Hero 10, I still think it's amazing. So it's no secret, on this channel, I've been mostly talking positively about GoPro cameras, and I still love them. There's something about the form factor, the different features that you have inside of this camera, you know, the night time-lapse mode, and you know, the way you can sort of change perspectives, and the incredible image stabilization, which is just crazy good. But this camera, it's so frustrating to me because it's so close to perfection. It's just that it's never quite as good as I want it to be. Like, this would be my dream camera, the only camera I would ever use if it only had a little better, you know, low light performance, you know, because when you're starting to use this camera in low light, like, it just falls apart quickly. Like, it looks terrible. Like, then I would even recommend using a smartphone. A smartphone probably has a little bit bigger sensor, but at least for low light performance, you know, the iPhone 14 Pro, for example, does a hell of a lot better job than the GoPro Hero 10. So it just frustrates me. You know, you wait year after year for that perfect camera. And sometimes, I don't know, I'm wondering if it's intentional from, you know, the company, GoPro, if they're deliberately. And if it's not just them, I think all brands, Sony, Nikon, Canon, maybe they're all intentionally putting in these imperfections in their perfect cameras just so people will keep on upgrading their gear. Because that's what we have here. Like, you, me, we're camera consumers. We just keep on buying the latest and greatest because we're always chasing that perfect camera. And it actually reminds me of this. This is the latest MacBook Pro, and ever since Apple released the M1 silicon chip, amazing computers have been just so good that even though they've released M2, most people don't find the need to upgrade from M1 to M2 because the M1 is already smashing it. Like, there's no need to upgrade if you have the M1. It's that good. And I'm sort of thinking that maybe it's something similar with smartphones and these cameras. Like, if they were too good, if they hit the spot, like if this camera, seriously, if this camera had good low light performance, and it doesn't have to be full frame equivalence of low light performance, but at least give me something like micro four thirds equivalence of low light performance, then I would never upgrade my GoPro ever again, you know? Like, you have your 5K recording option, you have your 4K 120 frames per second, that's all good and fine. If I just had better low light performance in this stupid little camera, I would be so happy. But I'm never pleased with the GoPro. Like, there's always just this one thing that takes it away from perfection. It's always 9 out of 10. It's never 10 out of 10 every single year, you know? So now I'm sort of anticipating what the GoPro Hero 12 will have, and I'm sort of expecting it's probably gonna have, you know, better slow motion, better stabilization, but in the low light department, I don't think it's gonna do anything better. It's always gonna fail on that specific little thing. So that's why I find this damn camera company annoying as hell. But I don't want you to take this the wrong way. I am actually a huge fan of GoPro Hero cameras. I've even bought stock in GoPro. That's how much I believe in the company. I believe that they have the right take on what consumers want from their cameras. They want something small, something that's easy to use, that has a lot of fun features. Like, the GoPro, to me, has always been about how much fun it is to actually use. You know, it's fun to hold it up and vlog, or it's fun to go to the beach with a GoPro. It's fun to, you know, set it up on a tripod in your backyard and doing a night time lapse. Like, it's just fun. And sometimes kind of incredible that even, you know, the latest Sony cameras that are much more expensive, they can't even do a 4K time lapse, you know, at least not internally. But the GoPro, it can do that. Like, that's amazing. Even the iPhone, well, technically it's the camera, the native camera app, it doesn't have 4K time lapse, but you could, of course, get a third-party software app to get like 4K time lapses. You can even get 8K if you have the iPhone 14 Pro. So that's pretty cool. Don't you just hate it when the mailman is starting to ruin your video? Anyway, I'm a huge believer in GoPro, and while yes, I'm never satisfied with these GoPros, I still think that GoPro, the company itself, like, they have the right vision for cameras, to make cameras fun and easy to use. That's all they have to do. Whereas when you look at, you know, full frame cameras and these hybrid cameras, they're just so complicated. Like, you know, when you're gonna select the shutter speed and all sorts of stuff. Like, Sony is sort of coming around with the Sony ZV series, but it's not quite there yet. When I look at the GoPro, it's just like, if you look at the menu, if you just go into the menu and start to tweak with the settings, it's very simplified for most normal people to understand. Whereas, you know, a full frame Sony camera that I'm shooting with now, you actually have to know how cameras work. And it just becomes such a disconnect from, you know, hitting the record button to, you know, creating a vision of something that you want to show other people. So, you know, huge fan of your products, love these things, and I can't wait to see what the GoPro Hero 12 will bring. But I know in my heart that it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough for me to sell all of my cameras, which would be the dream. Like, I can just taste it. Like, I have this dream in my head. Like, I can just see that perfect GoPro. Probably won't be the GoPro Hero 12, but like the GoPro Hero 15. It's going to have like a micro four thirds sensor. It's going to have good low light performance. Like, I can just taste it. It will be just mwah, beautiful. It will be perfect. So I'm really waiting for that to happen. But until that happens, we're just gonna have to be stuck with these semi-good cameras. Okay, that's all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.